Hello, everybody. All right. So, anyways, I am still waiting on Terry. I sent him the link this morning, but he seems to be incommunicado. Can't find him on Facebook. I'm still just waiting on him. We'll wait a few minutes, give him a chance to get in here. Give other people a chance to come as well. But anyway, I hope it. We're just giving Terry a few minutes to see if he'll show up soon. Also, I guess while we wait, let's see now. Put some music on. While I'll put some music on while I wait. I'll be right back. All right. Well, anyways, as we continue to wait here, of course, I'll probably mention in a moment here. If you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, that would really help things out. See if we can get some more friendly people watching. Also, um, if anything that we go over tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. Anyways, we're just waiting for Terry here. I guess we're now coming up on 4 minutes. If he's not here by the 5 minute mark, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Um, yeah, we'll go ahead and just kind of go over what we'll be talking about here. All right. So, anyways, so we're at the 5 minute mark now. Okay. So here's what's going on tonight, of course. And I guess I'm doing it without a co-host, but I can pull it off. But still funner when you have somebody to bounce stuff off of. So Tonight we're gonna go over books that went on sale from Quality Comics from we're going to be going over Smash Comics Volume 1, Number 5, and Feature Comics Volume 1, Number 27. Reading from the features, of course, Espionage of Black Ace. Let's see. Invisible Hood, The Clock, and of course, I'm going to introduce everybody to Dollman, which we'll be starting off here in a moment. Let me do one more thing here. All right. So, anyways, with that out of the way, so we're gonna go ahead and get started then on the material here. First off, I'm gonna introduce you guys to Dollman. Dollman and his cast of characters. All right, so we're not gonna go. We're not gonna read the. We're just gonna primarily focus because We'll obviously be reading his. We'll be reading his bio as we read his story. Meet Dollman. But I'm gonna just basically introduce you guys to him a little bit here. Talk about his powers, abilities, and all that. Some of the notes and stuff. Some interesting tidbits here. So we know that Dollman was Gerald Dane, who was a scientist slash chemist. He was an assistant to Professor Roberts and the beau and later husband of Martha Roberts. So powers, size alteration. By willing himself to do so, Dollman can shrink to a height of 6 inches and proportionate weight or return to his normal size and weight. At his 6-inch height, Dollman retains the strength of a normal sized man. Now, some people said it's proportional. It's more like he has the strength of 12 fully grown men. But abilities, chemistry. In the chemistry aspect of it, he developed a serum that initially was how either he would inject it or he'd drink it or he'd take it in the form of a pill. But he basically developed a chemical that helped him to shrink down to the 6 inches in height. Let's see. Aviation, Dollman could pilot the small flying saucer that now I'll explain a little bit more about this a little later, but eventually his wife Martha Roberts Dane, would eventually become doll girl Midge. So used to and was able to use other small vehicles as needed. So here are the notes and the trivia here. Notes. In 1956, DC Comics obtained the rights to the Quality Comics characters and reintroduced them 17 years later, that was in 1973, as the Freedom Fighters in Justice League of America, number 107, cover date October of 1973. Let's see now. I'll send some reminder things out. Hopefully that will bring in at least some more viewers at the very least. Get into this. All right. So with that, hopefully we'll get some more people in here soon. The freedom fighters were relocated to a parallel world. Okay, so that stuff we can. Okay. So trivia: as Dollman Daryl Dane would be 6 inches tall, as Dollman Daryl Dane would weigh 7.5 pounds. All right, so that's pretty much. And transportation was his flying saucer, which was a flying equipment that he used. Let's see, Martha Roberts is next. Hey, Rick. Terry disappeared on me. Can I? Would you like to fill in for? I know that you're also scheduled to be here next week as well. If you want, I can send you the StreamYard link, and you can co-host with me tonight as well. And I'll wait for your response there. Oh, that JR's here. Huh. Hey, all. Yeah. All right. Sure. Give me a few minutes. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and copy the link and copy the StreamYard link here and send it to you, and then I'll let's see now. Sending it. Well, I guess I can send it to both the sites. Well. All right. Message him. All right, Rick. I just sent you the link on both Facebook and Truth Social, so you should have two sources to draw that from. So hopefully you'll come in sooner rather than later. Hey, Woody. And if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream and help me out by seeing if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be great. Anyways, we just went over a little quickie with Dollman here, so now we're gonna talk a little bit about Martha Roberts here. She is right there. Maybe I should have did this too. Female, brown hair, brown eyes, married. Powers, size alteration. Now, of course, Martha, who was Dollman's wife, would also become his crime fighting partner. So her powers also, as Doll Girl, Martha Roberts could shrink through mental concentration to a height of 5.5 inches. She retained her normal strength and was a fair hand to hand. Now, I don't know if she actually took the serum herself or if she just somehow just through osmosis developed the powers, the same powers as Doll Man. Because, or maybe as a married couple, they, were able to do it that way. Aviation, Doll Girl could pilot the flying saucer as well. Transportation, flying saucer. It was a part of the package that DC bought up from terms of the comic. So, anyways, let's see now. High and a hearty handshake. Okay. All right. So, anyways, so with that, now that we got the intros out of the two, actually, there's one more intro. I'm sorry, one more intro to handle here, which is Professor Roberts, who was Martha Roberts' father, and Daryl Dane's boss, basically. Note, another version of Professor Roberts was a native of Earth X and the father of that world's. So this is in regards to what, but basically Professor Roberts was Martha Roberts' father. He was Geraldine's boss, kind of an older guy, scientist. So, hey, Rick.
Hey.
Yeah, I even reminded him on Wednesday too, and I sent him the link and everything this morning, but Terry didn't show. And then I've been looking to see if he's been on Facebook at all. It's like he's just disappeared.
Yeah, I thought you said he was in, but he. Oh, I guess I misunderstood what you mean. I thought he was in and then he disappeared on you.
No, he basically disappeared on me. Didn't even, he hasn't even shown up. So I don't know if he. And the thing is, I even reminded, if you remember, I reminded him on Wednesday when I dropped in on to, he was in the chat and all that.
Yeah, he said he was ready, so guess something came up.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I have you back here next week too. So you're gonna be
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so yeah. So, anyways, have you been listening in on my introductions here to some of these characters?
Just a little bit. I got here. You were talking about Doll Man a little bit. I had to, and then you asked me about coming in, and I said sure, and then I stepped away from the computer to do a couple things before getting on.
Yeah. Okay. So
And
basically,
been sitting backstage for about a minute. So
right, and then I saw you, and then I got you in here. So Doll Man was Daryl Dane, who was a chemist. he developed a serum, that through various means he could, whether through injection, taking it as a pill, or drinking it, he would
Shrink down to the size of
of a
an
doll.
action figure.
Yeah. Um, his wife apparently developed the same power, Martha Roberts Dane, and then his
Yeah, she became
his
Doll Girl, I
yeah,
believe.
doll girl, and then Professor Roberts here we were just talking about is basically her father, his father-in-law, and 5.5 works. All right, so anyways, with that, so now we've gone through all the introductions and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and get to the readings. We'll be reading Dollman a little bit later. I'm going to start with espionage because that has the most pages, and then we're going to start with the Smash comic stuff first. Then we'll go from there.
I'd say Doll Man seems like it's quality, right?
Yeah, quality comics.
Answer to the Atom or
Well, he
Ant Man, but he came
predates
first, so
both
it's more
Adams.
DC's answer to DC and Marvel's answer to him.
Well, he predates both of DC's Adams.
Yeah,
He precedes Ray Palmer by like a couple decades,
yeah,
and then he predates Al. Even though Al Pratt never really developed the power to shrink, he did develop the power of Atomic Punch, but
yeah. But
the
I was saying
Golden
he also
Age.
predates Ant Man, right?
Yeah, he predates Ant Man as well.
So and Devil Flyer's here, and it says Hail Cross and Mike.
Hey Rex, you're just in time. We're just about to get into the readings. I went through the intros for Dollman and and
His supporting cast.
and his supporting cast. So if you want to sit back, hang out, and I don't know if you're still doing your stream as well, but if you want to stream snipe as well, at least we get some views out of it. We got to get to the actual. There we go. There's quality. And first up, of course, we're going to hit Smash Comics, Volume 1, Number 5. Look at that cup now. The cover date is December 5th. This went on sale in November. The big robot there is Bozo the Iron Man. Starring Hugh Hazard with Bozo the Robot, Clip Chance, Phil Potbeat, Captain Cook, John Law, Sheik Carter, Abdul the Arab, and many others. Of course, the other features include Wings Wendell, Espionage, Invisible Hood, Archie O'Toole. And yes, Archie O'Toole is another one who was written by Will Eisner, and I believe Will Eisner also wrote the Espionage story as well.
Instead of Bozo the Clown, we got Bozo the Robot, eh?
Yeah. Anyway.
He looks a little like Bender.
Yeah.
Or
And of course,
Bender
if you
looks a
guys
little like him.
haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. See if we can get some more people watching. And also, if you have anything catches your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So here we go. Here's how page 2. Here's how I make extra money at home, which was big back in this time because this was kind of towards the end of the Depression. Hey, Dad, how can I make some money? Well, son, I'll give you a dime, a pair for shining my shoes. Gosh, this is a cinch. 3 pairs done already. And yes, this is one of the things they sold back then, a shoe shine kit. Later, yes, sir. I earned this scout uniform with my Shinola home shine kit. Shinola.
Yeah, because this was still the dirty 30s, the end of the about to be the end of the Great Depression, thanks to a world war.
right. Well, in which you did have a lot of a lot of young men, high schoolers and even middle schoolers who would have to help out by going out and getting into the workforce a bit here.
Yeah, everybody in the family that could get out and do something to work to get money coming in did. It didn't matter your age.
Yeah,
You know.
except for the real young ones. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, I like one of the other features we've looked at before is Squibbly Gibbet, who was like about 12 and a half, 13, I guess, and he actually ended up becoming a cartoonist.
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess if they were like 10 and under, or 12 and under, or something like that, yeah, then they wouldn't. But if somebody had a family business, they would probably be helping out in some way, shape, or form in that.
Right. All right. So, anyways, espionage starring Black X
I mean, Black Ace said.
or Black Ace. It's funny. I think this might be the last story where he goes by the Black Ace code name. I think he goes back to Black X in the next story. So, in 1914, the World War tore Europe asunder, but still the closely packed nations squabble, threatening each other, parading their armies, and planning desperate moves. Ethiopia, Saar, Czechoslovakia, Munich, Danzig. Peace appears hopeless. Europe is an armed camp, a powder keg waiting to be set up. Now, for those of you who haven't been following the quality stuff as much here, to kind of just let you know a little something here. During this period, just before America got into the war, quality stories would actually add countries to the world.
Yeah. Well,
In
I think
quality,
the only
there
two
were a
that
number of that. Okay, the Axis powers were not just Germany, Italy, and Japan. There were a number of European sounding nations and even some Asian nations that were also part of the Axis. They were adding countries into Quality's universe.
Yeah. Well, the only two that I think are fake there, or could be fake, is the Tsar and the Danzig. I know the other ones are all real.
Yeah, Munich wasn't a country; that was more like a city. Yeah,
But
so
there
yeah.
might be, maybe it's a city. I thought it was a country, but as well. But
Well, you never heard of Munich, Germany?
yeah. Oh, yeah, pretty sure. So maybe that's a replacement for Germany.
All over Europe, eyes are turned skyward. Mothers wearing gruesome gas masks hold their frightened children closer. But still, the war leaders rant, unmindful of the um, horror into which they lead their people.
Now, the only thing I find funny here, uh, it, you would think, okay, yeah, the moms are got the gas mask, but okay, wouldn't your kid need a gas mask too if you need one?
Hmm. Yeah, you make a good point. Again, maybe just one of those things they just kind of overlooked,
Yeah,
you know, in the storytelling there, like
yeah,
maybe that little detail to the writers wasn't important enough, But then again, for all we know, that maybe they could have gas masks because look at how the lady's holding the child, right? I mean, we can't.
yeah. Well, the one here that's right in front, you can tell there's no gas mask on that baby.
Hmm, yeah, not even one that would just cover the nose and mouth like this, right?
Yeah. JR says Saar was a coal producing province on the border between Germany and France that was an international territory that voted to rejoin Germany.
Hmm. All right.
Okay, and then
Well,
he
well,
says,
yeah. Well, the thing being, oh, yeah, Danzig is a city now Polish Gdansk that was also a centuries old German city that was internationally administered to provide Polish de facto access to the Baltic region. It was a scientific consensus of the time.
what was the scientific consensus of the time? But okay, so maybe back then they were some sort of countries or semi countries or whatever, or
Yeah.
cities.
Well, the thing is though is that, and they'll probably say so in the story. But as I said earlier, quality did actually make up and add countries
Oh
to
yeah.
the world.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that. Marvel's done it, DC has done it. Marvel hasn't done it so much, but DC's
Yeah.
done it a lot. So it's a trope in comics to add cities to the world.
Huh. I just got I just got a message from Terry on Facebook, so let me go check that
Uh,
out real quick here. Oh, actually, they're
JR says yes, Danzig and Sar had their own governments. Okay, I did not know that. Learn something new every day, right? Or hopefully. Um, guess what? Europe looked a little different back then.
okay.
Probably a little bit more used to it as it is now, and I don't even know all the countries that there is now. They could still exist, and I wouldn't know it.
All right. Terry just told me that he was at a, I guess, had a last minute family gathering pop up for his niece's graduation. So,
Ah,
yeah. Well, at least I was able to get you to come in for me, Rick. Thank you for that.
oh, no problem, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And you just read that part, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, though, as I said,
yeah.
yeah,
They,
quality
they
did add countries. So that was one of the points I was
yeah,
making.
and I get that, but these, I guess, were real countries at the time. Whether or not I don't think they all exist as countries now. And it's not like I don't think me or you know all the countries in Europe. So somebody could tell us that they were still countries today. And the only way that I know differently is
Well,
to look
well,
at a map.
now take a look at the right panel here. Take a look at the far right corner there. That guy kind of looks a little bit like Hitler, doesn't he?
Um, Not really, but he does have the what looks like a German uniform.
Well, not just that, but also the little, even though it's kind of shaded a bit there, it does look like he's got the little Hitler mustache.
No, no, I look at that. He doesn't have the mustache there. That's just shading on the one side of the face
Uh,
because the mustache would go over to the other side of the lip, the other side of the nose.
uh, yeah,
If there was a mustache there, although Hitler's was fairly small, but it would
yeah,
still go over a little bit more,
yeah.
in my opinion, anyways.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, so let's continue on here. Unless I get what I want, there will be war. You want to do the other guy there?
okay, they will not give up an inch of our land, even if it means war. And JR says Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria all joined the Axis. Finland was an ally of Axis, but never formally joined.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of what ended up happening is a lot of the Eastern European countries kind of became part of the Axis and eventually were absorbed into the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
He also just said the Kingdom of Yugoslavia passed legislation to sign the Axis treaty, but that night there was a coup and the civil war erupted. I guess that's good or bad, depends on how you look at it.
Hmm. All right. So, in the library of the White House, Washington D.C., a radio blares forth the news. Tonight, rumors have spread like wildfire that troops are moving in the east. All hope of peace is gone. Every European country is on a war basis. For further details, read your daily papers.
It's amazing. This is still October, right? Or is this November?
This is okay. This book went on sale in October of 1939.
Okay. So, but it is interesting that they were just sort of predicting this, but because there had been rumors, so even before October, that they've written this in. So I'm not sure back then how far in advance they wrote their stories, and had stuff done up, whether they were doing it 2 or 3 months before, or just a month before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the stuff was for back then, but it's interesting how they say about that stuff in Europe at the first panel, and that's almost basically what it was going out thing. And the next month, war does erupt in Europe, as we know.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as we continue on here, gentlemen, war in Europe is certain. America must now take necessary steps. So obviously, the comic book writers of this time felt that the U.S. should intervene.
Yeah. Now it's a question of what side. Probably because I had heard, I'm not sure how true it is, that America was before the Pearl Harbor. They were thinking of entering the war, but on Germany's side. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah. Well, according to most history, the basically everyday Americans did not want to get into the war.
Yeah.
But more the politicians who seemed to want to, it's more like Franklin Delano Roosevelt who felt that America should step in and intervene. But for
Yeah.
the most part, most everyday Americans were not too keen on the whole idea of the interventionalism.
Yeah, they probably did. Well, at this point, the everyday Americans probably didn't know too much unless they hear something like that radio program was broadcasting, in this, So most everyday Americans probably didn't know, didn't care either, because it was so far away. And I would
Yeah,
figure
and
Canadians
plus
would
they
have
had, and if you remember,
similar.
they had they had of course some of their own they had some of their own issues to deal with of course the issues of the depression, which was another reason a lot of the politicians wanted to get into the war, is because they figured it would be an economic boom
Yeah,
and
which it sort of was.
mm-hmm. Well,
Wars.
a lot of people actually credit World War II with getting America fully, like a lot of the steps that had been taken previously. It was like kind of getting the recovery going at a snail's pace. It
Yeah,
wasn't until we got
World
into
War.
the war that we really blasted out of it, and then of course after the war came kind of the
Yeah, World War II is credited, I think, around the world for getting the world out of the Great Depression,
mhm.
because the Great Depression was in Europe and Canada and the States, all basically all around the world, anywhere that was affected by the stock market, anyways, because of the crash in 1929.
Yeah. So, anyways, getting back to the
The
story.
story.
Yeah. So you want to do the guy in red there?
Okay. But, Mr. President, what can we do?
Arm, prepare to defend America. and our freedom. A special session of Congress is called, and it unanimously accepts the president's plan. And you see the headlines there. Congress votes. Um,
Something rare. Congress.
yeah, we're minute. Okay, all right. Um, good. Good evening, America. This is Jack Downs, your Washington correspondent. Congress has just passed the largest arms bill in the history of this country. America is preparing the greatest defense system in the world. Somewhere in Europe, you want to do this guy?
Okay. Your Majesty, America. Oh, sorry. Oh, uh, come on. Right voice, right voice. America, Your Majesty, America is arming the biggest military program in years. Uh,
The
is that the same?
yeah.
I
What was
think
that?
that's the guy in blue.
Yeah, I believe so too, and I was just about to do it. They must be stopped. With America out of European affairs, the balance of power will be in my favor, and the other nations will be too weak and afraid to oppose me.
There is one effective way: sabotage.
Oh my goodness. Do you see the guy in blue there now? Now they're
Yeah,
showing us his face. Look at him. You see
that's a
how
lot
they
of
have him
shading.
drawn? He kind of looks like a Cro-Magnon.
Yeah, but I think that's more. It ends up that way because of the shading.
Hmm.
Because they're shading around the eyes. They're letting light hit his forehead, in his eyes, and his mouth area. But yeah, it does not look good.
A cunning smile spreads across the leader's face. He speaks crisply. Your advice is excellent, Taneo. I shall appoint you in charge. Now, here's the thing. This guy Taneo, um, supposedly now there's been some speculation that he did make an appearance in an earlier Black Ace story as Baron. He was ultimately revealed to be Baron Basil Teneo. Um, even though because they kind of look similar and they kind of talk similar and stuff like that, some people argue that it might be the same character. So this might be one of the first recurring villains. And even though he only appeared twice here, this is his second appearance. Only appeared
Yeah.
twice here, but anyways, so I've given you Tornado there, and
Yeah. Me. But they have a strong counter espionage. There is Black Ace. I've heard much about him. He's dangerous. Yeah, and if you notice, there's that guy, the guy in blue, right in that frame. So he looked a lot different than he does in the
oh,
panel
and the
before.
shading, yeah, yeah. But that look right there make in the shading there makes him look more kind of Cro-Magnon like.
Yeah.
Like, granted, it was kind of it might have been another slight precursor to Vandal Savage.
Yeah. I don't even. I think they did the shading real bad there. I can see it on the suit where it is and down, but I don't think most of that face should be shaded the way that it is.
Yeah. I'm ordering you to America. You've no choice, Basil Teneo. Either you accept or you die. But remember this: if you fail, you die also. Now get to work. I'll arrange your passage. Let's see. Do we have anything more being said here yet? No, I guess not. At least we got some people watching, at least, so that's good.
Yeah.
With typical American energy, munition factories begin to operate full blast, pushing production to capacity, blissfully unaware of the impending doom. Meanwhile, in his hideout, Tanejo um, makes his first move. Actually, I do have to make a slight correction there. I think the first, actually, Teneo probably wasn't the first one. Madame Doom probably was, because Madame Doom, I think, had it. I know she had at least one appearance. So, well, maybe Teneo was the first one, but Madame Doom was Black Ace's most ardent arch villain and also potential love interest. So, um, she was a female espionage for the European nations. Um, anyways, I think this is you again. Oh wait. Oh yeah, it is him. Okay, Rick, go for it because I think that's you again. Rick. Oh, how did that happen?
How did
What
that
happened?
happen? I went to close one of my tabs on my in the window for my browser, and it accidentally hit your tab too for this. It's like, oh
Ah,
crap! So I got back in. You didn't even notice I was gone.
yeah. Well, I was calling to you, and then I go, "What's going on?" And then I pop back over to. Well, you have to remember too. I'm on the comic book plus screen, so I'm not always. I don't necessarily catch it unless something like that happens. Oh
Yeah,
no! Woody says.
yeah, yeah. Well, I heard you calling me, but I couldn't answer. So,
Yeah. Until I came back to check what was going on. So,
yeah.
all right. Let's see. Let's see him.
I have I
All right.
have
So,
your min picked. I have picked you min by your records, inasmuch as you are all killers. Will stop at nothing. Now, our first job is the Buffalo Arms Plan. You know what to do.
like the opening gun of a barrage, the arms plant explosion heralds a reign of sabotage unmatched by any of the annals of United States history. And you have like newspapers calling for a strike. Wherever idle men gather, Teneo's men foment revolt. Well, you know what they say, Rick, right? Idle hands are a devil's plaything.
Yeah,
And behind all this, like a puppeteer, sits Basil Teneo.
well, well, pick, did you complete the job?
Yeah, boss. Now, how about the payoff?
Sure, here it is.
Hey, boss, what's the idea?
Just a precaution so he won't talk.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't.
And neither will you.
Bang, bang, bang. Let's see. Unmolested, Tanejo continues his reign of terror. Now, before I go on, Rick, what do you think the word unmolested means here?
Unstopped.
Yeah, unstopped or basically not being bothered with, you
Yeah.
know, because of course when we hear the word molest or any form of it, in today's world, it has a different
Different connotation.
different connotation. So, boom. Let's see. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt the music of Phil Hayes' orchestra to bring you a special bulletin. Jacksonville, Missouri. Another munitions plant was blown up today. This makes the fourth in 2 weeks. For further details, shut that off, Ace. This is the fourth time I've heard that report today. It's dang nabbit. It's disgusting. I tell you, Black Ace, while we sit here. Actually, maybe I should just let you, because I like doing Black Ace, but I should
Okay.
just let you do the Colonel there, the white-haired guy.
Well, I'll tell you, Black Ace, while you sit here coming like a couple of comic strip sleuths, this gang is destroying our whole regiment. Is that regiment?
Rearmament.
System.
Talk about now. There's a clear example of breaking the fourth wall, huh?
Yeah.
See that? Like a couple of comic book characters. That's a clear example of breaking the fourth wall right there.
Well, not quite. He's not talking to the audience, and he's not admitting that he's in a comic strip. He's just comparing their lives to a comic strip.
Which comes pretty close. Comes pretty close to breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, it doesn't outright break it, but it comes pretty close.
Yeah. Well, it says he reads comic books, and I thought people like him didn't read comic books in those days, or comic strips.
Yeah. Any clues? Anything to go on?
The leader of this gang has been killing off his assistants one by one after every explosion. We find a well-known gangster dead in some hotel, and we always find evidence that connects to him to these explosions.
And then the head of these terrorists must travel from hotel to hotel, plan the sabotage, and after the work is done, kills his henchmen. Major, I'm going to play a wild hunch, and the next big job should be the cross-country flyer going between New York and Frisco. Give me a passage on it. Look at that. A wild hunch. Plays a wild hunch. After several hours later, Black Ace's snappy plane speeds him to New York. Like a plunging torpedo, the cross-country flyer sets out across the country. So the cross-country flyer here looks like it's a train.
Yeah.
As Black Ace and his servant Batu watch the other passengers. Do you want to do Batu right there?
Oh, important men in train, master.
Yes, I've studied photos of every important passenger in this car. Look, there's a strange face. I say, conductor, at what station is that man getting off? You want to do the conductor right there?
Yeah, at Gloville Station, sir.
Um, okay.
That's you,
Um, yeah, I
Black
know. I
Ace.
just, yeah. We'll reach Glowville in 10 minutes. We've got to work fast, Batu. And look, the scene goes dark. As the train roars into the blackness of the tunnel, there is a slight scuffle.
You know,
And
they could at least put, some sort of sound effect over that. Like oof or something like that.
and
Yeah,
and when the train emerges, an instant later, we find Black Ace sitting next to Teneo.
yeah. Like the
Oh,
guy's not gonna find that suspicious if there was somebody else sitting next to him.
yeah. Oh, watch this! Oh, watch this fellow! I have a hunch he's the man I want. Meanwhile, Batu climbs to the coal car to search for hidden explosives. So, Rick, do you know what a coal car is?
Yeah. Well, for a train back in the day, and some still need coal to be put in their furnace, whatever the
Yeah, it's
engine
basically connected to the engine. It's where the coal is stored for them to
to
shovel it into the
burn
mill.
to power the train.
Right. So,
Now, I would think that one that what Black Ace would have thought that, not so much said that thing that he said in the previous panel,
mhm.
because you sit right beside the guy. You don't want to say too much to. You don't know how good of hearing this guy has.
Yeah, but that's probably another detail that the writers probably just kind of glossed
Yeah, yeah.
over. You know.
I know it's a bit nitpicky of me.
Yeah. At Glowville, Teneo calmly leaves the train, leaving Black Ace rather baffled. Um, and you're Batu right there.
Yeah. Nothing happened, Master.
That's odd. I was positive that I was on the right track. I'm sure he hid nothing under the seat. I watched him every moment. Okay, you want to do the conductor there?
Pardon me, sir.
Yes, even though this is actually in America, I know we're doing like British accents and all. Uh,
Did you see where that fellow went to? He left his bag.
his bag. Quick, give me the that bag, Porter. Just as I thought, I was a fool not to have thought of it sooner. A time bomb. Yeah. And then he goes and throws out the bomb, it looks like. A moment later, a thunderous explosion rocks the rail beds. Boom!
I guess they were going again. Oh yeah, have train, have saved train, Master.
Yes, but that man slipped through my fingers. I've got to get him. Hello, Chief. This is Black Ace. Where is the new Falcon bomber being built? Thanks. I'll have your man in 24 hours. The next day, Black Ace and Batu arrive at the huge Falcon aircraft factory in Salt Lake City, Utah. All right, you want to do the guy at the desk there?
Oh, yeah. We'll give you our complete cooperation, sir.
Good. First, I'd like to see a floor plan of the plant.
I think that's you, Black Ace.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you got the hat on. This is the most likely for the charge. Look through the other rooms, Batu, while I go there.
Yes, you get one room. Batu gets all the other rooms. How many other rooms are there?
Suddenly, a man darts from the room. Ace gives chase. Look at that flying tackle right there.
Yeah. I will kill you!
Strike one. Strike two. Strike three. You're out. Where did you put that explosive?
You will never know!
Very well. Then we'll both stay here till it goes off.
No! No! We'll be blown to bits!
And talk. Where did you plan it?
I won't tell you! Master, I cannot find the bomb.
Pato, I've got the rat who planted it, but I can't find out where we will be blown to bits. Where we will be blown to bits in about 10 minutes.
Okay, has he told you this? And why don't you just...
What part of that?
Well, he says we're going to be blown to bits. The crook never told him when the thing's supposed to go off, so how does he know 10 minutes?
Well, maybe he's calculating that based on the fact maybe that was the time that was set on the previous time bomb.
Yeah, but that went off as he threw it out the window there. So,
well, it could have. Well, remember, it took him a couple minutes to figure out that that there was a time bomb on the train when he threw it out.
Yeah, but if it was the exact same time, he hadn't even planted this bomb yet, and he would have to give time to get out wherever, not be near the place. I would think. The other thing is, why doesn't he just tie the guy up? He's in this room. Look in this room.
Again, it's one of those things. Maybe the writers just didn't really
think it
through. They just didn't think it through, because maybe those details that you're picking apart right now, maybe to the writers when they were writing the story, those were not. Maybe they wanted to focus more on okay, there's a bomb about to explode. Let's see how we can deal with this bomb that's about to explode. They weren't,
Yeah, they didn't think
that's how the saying goes, the devil's in the details. Maybe they didn't want to deal with the devil. Anyways, Batu, go for it.
Perhaps there are other ways of finding out. Batu will try own method.
The Hindu's eyes blaze as he goes into a trance. Now, what do you think Batu is doing right there?
Going to the astral plane to look around, going out of body, doing it out of a body experience.
Could there be another possibility?
Maybe he's gonna. Well, he's saying he's going into a trance. I was gonna say he was gonna try and hypnotize the guy to get him to tell, but that wouldn't make sense for him to go into a trance to do that.
Well, he could. Maybe the trance is maybe enabling him to perform telepathy too. Could that be?
Yeah, possible? Maybe read his mind. Yeah, that's possible too.
Yeah. Anyways, before I read the next narration there, let me see if there's any. Okay, the last thing that was said by Woody was, okay, he's back. So, anyways, continuing on here. Minutes pass like hours as Batu concentrates all his occult powers in a mighty effort. And look at that, he's got the clock in the background.
Yeah, I don't get what's supposed to be happening there.
And I
Oh,
think that's Batu speaking right
uh,
there.
or maybe it's where the thing is. Uh, unless the bomb lies in paint room, can see clear picture of it.
Or maybe that's what the clock was. It was here you with a bomb. Here it is. It explodes harmlessly in the factory's yard. Boom! Back
Except
in
for
the
the dent it puts in their, you know, parking lot.
yeah. Back in the factory, Teneo makes a desperate attempt to escape. Seizing a heavy pipe, he descends on Ace, who is off balance. Ace blocks it with his arm. A,
Ouch.
a cry of pain escapes him as the heavy pipe crushes his forearm. Ouch! Oh man, have you ever gotten a stinger on your elbow like right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably that must have really felt nasty. Tanejo makes for the door.
Okay, so Batu, I know I'm doing it again. Batu says it's in a paint room, which I would assume is another room. Batu's most likely in a trance still. This guy's in another room. The bomb's got been thrown out the window and gone off. Why do you come after the guy? Get out of there! I know. I think of these little plot holes or see things.
Well, again, maybe it was one of those things where they felt that the story would read better the way they wrote it here.
Yeah, yeah.
Suddenly, at the doorway,
The eagle is swifter than the rat.
a moment later, Ace comes up. Batu, your methods are primitive, but they get results.
So Batu killed the guy. I must say, he probably deserved it, but
Well,
what about taking the guy to justice?
you just from reading even the synopsis, these comics were pretty dark back then. You know,
Yeah,
you also had a number of characters killing each other, killing people.
yeah,
So.
and I think comics were for kids. Yeah,
Well,
let's
you have to
just.
remember too, and we were just talking about this earlier too. Kids were probably a 12-year-old, 12, 13-year-old in 1939 is probably considered more worldly and mature than one today is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
Probably more
they
mature than
had to
some
be. They had to
20-year-olds
be,
today.
right? They had to be.
Yeah. Look, master, I have found papers in his pocket.
Let me see him. This proves that he was head of the sabotage ring. And look at these letters of introduction and instructions from a foreign king.
Master, you are tearing up papers. Should let the president know which countries make sabotage.
No, Batu, my job is to stop trouble, not start it. If these papers, I'm sorry. No, Batu, my job is to stop trouble, not start it. If these papers were made public, international trouble would result. At a time like this, it might easily cause a war. No one will ever know which country it was. Now, mind you, I think if you think about what he said right there, with what Black Ace said right there, I think that might have been more of a reflection of how everyday Americans would have felt about that.
Yeah.
Would have felt about that situation. You notice how they kind of incorporated that into the dialogue
Yeah.
right there?
Well, I get what he's saying, but I think not knowing who it is, it might not. If you bring the right people to justice, you know, if you know who was trying to start this,
Mhm.
obviously I don't think they're going to stop. So you're not stopping a war. You're just maybe postponing it at best.
Yeah, well, that's possible.
Because the powers that be can't deal with it properly at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, once again, under normal conditions, the United States arms to capacity and becomes the most powerful nation in the world. In Europe, the dictators pause as the shadow of Uncle Sam's might falls over them. So yeah, you did have some people who believe that if America, who did apparently believe that if America did get involved in the world, they'd just simply kick everybody's rear end. Right? You notice
Yeah.
that there, Rick? Um, yeah, I think you're the first guy from the earlier part of the story there.
Yeah. It says the United States demands peace
No,
and
no. What the United States. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see. The United States demands peace and.
we are ready to talk peace. Stop maneuvers.
All right. I think I was the other guy, but that's okay.
No, they seem to both be coming from the one guy,
Hmm.
the guy on the far right.
Yeah.
Both of those.
The United States. The United States could wipe Europe off the map in a year. We must sign the peace pacts offered by. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I think that should be you right there.
The United States could wipe Europe off the map in a year. We must sign the peace pact offered by their president and disarm at once.
All over the
Uh,
world. Oh,
no offense to your country, but they really had an inflated, or at least this writer had an inflated sense of ego for the country.
for America, right?
Yeah, would being able to take all of Europe on
Well,
and take it out in a year, even when they had some countries on their side, they had trouble with Germany
uh-huh.
and
all
the Axis powers.
yeah, all over the world, wires hum with proposals of peace and disarmament. War averted, peace guaranteed. Dictators gone. Um, in a quiet restaurant in Washington D.C., European nations sign peace pact. War averted by strong U.S. note. Like, obviously, these writers felt that America was the big bad booty daddy, and all these European nations were little pea ants.
Yeah, they definitely
The writers
underestimated
definitely
them.
had an inflated ego of America, didn't they?
Yeah,
No.
like I don't know where China was at that point or the states in population, but China probably still would have been 2 or 3 times bigger than the states. You know, they have
Land wise, it's definitely pretty large.
yeah. Well, the states say they were at 300 million back then, which I think it was less than that. It was probably more like 250 million. You know, uh, China is over 1 billion right now. I think close to 2 billion. So even if they would have been closer to, they would have been, probably at or more than 750 million easy. I would think, you know, although China's not Europe, but
Hmm.
you know, still, if you put all those countries together, they would probably equal more than 250 million people. But even back then,
Oh, and here seems like a little prediction here. Chief, the way these Brooklyn Dodgers have been playing this year, think they'll win the pennant at last?
Well, that tops all. Broken arm, escape from death, averted war, and he's concerned about the Brooklyn Dodgers. Hey man, say what league are they in now?
Ho 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 ho! And for those of you who didn't know, the Brooklyn Dodgers, of course, are were in the National League at that point. They're still in the National League, but not in Brooklyn anymore. They are in L.A. So there's Archie O'Toole, Carter, Tom Lost Detective. So how did you like that story, Rick?
Pretty good, pretty good. Save for the couple plot points that even with the plot. And don't get me wrong, although I point out these plot points, I do enjoy the stories. It's just, I'm not sure whether anybody else catches them out in the audience, but I just, I figure I have to point them out. I still enjoy the stories.
Yeah. Rick, if you can talk to everybody for a moment before we get started, because I do have to step away from the computer here for a moment. I'll be right back.
You'll be right back after these messages. Hey, so who's all still here? Anybody still listening? What do you think of some of my voices? I was trying to do a German accent for the one main bad guy. I wasn't doing it really good at first. You think I did better near the end? I just and for my remaster, I just finished up page 19 today. I will probably be making that into a video to come out either tomorrow or Monday. By the end of next week, I should be. I'm not sure why you can see this. I've got 5 more pages to go. Hopefully, by the end of next week, I will be at page. Well, this is 19. Is it 19? Yeah, it is. Hopefully, I'll be at 22 by the end of next week, and by the following week, be done. So, hopefully, done by my birthday, all of this. Well, then I got to do lettering. But I have to get somebody to look at Canadian Shield 1 to check it out for spelling and grammar mistakes. So, as you can see, where I think we're about to do Invisible Justice. I think we read this one before. I read this with him, I think, last time. A couple of these stories by Quality. Last time he was doing Quality.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, I know I don't say this as much, but if you ever wish to, feel free to share any links in the chat as well.
Yeah. I know.
don't usually say too much about that, but always welcome to do that if you'd like.
Well, I figured that I got a wrench, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't want me to share links, I wouldn't have a wrench.
Right. Anyway, so Invisible Hood or Invisible Justice by Art Gordon. Now, Art Gordon was a pen name for Art Pinajan. Invisible Justice is the name of the feature. This is a feature that focused on Invisible Hood. Well, you want to do the kid right there?
Okay. Extra, read all about it.
Great excitement has broken out in the fast-growing city of Parkville.
Tom Bradley missing. Special prosecutor feared kidnapped by racketeers.
Passing through Parkville at this moment is Kent Thurston, the Invisible Hood, an arch enemy of crime. An extra, huh? Guess I'll buy one and see what it's all about. According to this, the town's overrun with rackets, and the local authorities have done nothing about it. Thurston parks his car at the street corner and then buys a newspaper. Okay, so I probably should have read the narration first, but
Yeah, they don't know how to put where to put the narrations in these things yet. A lot of these.
yeah, they're still working on that, right?
Yeah.
And now with Bradley out of the way, things will get worse. Someone has the whole town in his grasp. It is strictly a case for the Invisible Hood. Seems
Okay.
Bradley. Oh, go ahead.
Who's Bradley? Is he like from a story before or whatever? Or do
No,
you remember?
well, you just read it. Tom Bradley, the prosecutor.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. My bad.
In this case, they would often refer to people by their last names. It seems Bradley is in line for the governorship too. Well, let's see where do we begin? Suddenly, a car comes tearing down the street at full speed, and as it passes a large store, boom! You want to do the gangster right there?
Nice throwing, Mike. Maybe we can use that pineapple in their fruit store. Ha ha!
Now, do you know what what a pine in this case what he's referring to as a pineapple?
A bomb?
Yeah, it is a bomb, but it's a specific type of bomb.
Well, could be some sort of regular bomb. Well, sort of regular bomb for that day and age, or it could be maybe a Molotov cocktail.
Well, it could be that, or well, now, granted, I'm thinking more because usually a lot of times in the military, they call grenades pineapples
Oh, okay.
because
I did not know that, or I might have heard it, but I didn't remember it. I don't know.
because of how they're designed. How
Yeah, how they look. I get it. I just.
it didn't dawn on you, right?
Yeah.
Great Scott, the racketeers, I'm in luck. Now's as good a time as any to start on this case. Let's go. Thurston speeds after the gangster's car. And then, that's you again.
Step on it. There's a sap following us, Mike.
Don't worry, hang on. He don't know it, but this is a dead end street that turns and follows the river. But it'll be too late when he finds out. Unable to see too far ahead, Thurston plunges on while the gang car turns left.
He won't bother us anymore, eh?
Well, that's the end of a nice new car, and it's about time the Invisible Hood went into action. Upon emerging from the water, Thurston finds a secluded spot on the dock and dons his robe of the red hood of the Invisible Hood. these crooks don't know it, but they're now fighting a losing battle.
I guess he went down
Oh,
to his car to get the suit.
or he may have just had it on with him. Maybe,
I guess he
maybe
could have
under.
had it on underneath. I don't know. It's just
See how they got that kind of dotted out there? How they got them
yeah,
in invisible form
yeah.
there?
But looking at that, the dotted outlines, it doesn't look like that would fit too comfortably under those clothes, especially you know. I know the suit's not form fitting, but it is a suit. So
Mm,
that having that on underneath would really bulk him up.
yeah. Hmm. Now to get out of here. Hmm. What's that over there? It's a motorcycle. Oh boy. So I said, oh, you want to do the cop right there?
I'm not sure there's a cop or just somebody. Anyways, so I say to him, buddy, my motorcycle goes nowhere without me, and that's final. We're like, see, we're like this, see, and he's got his
What?
fingers crossed.
Well, who's borrowing it now?
Nobody, eh? Hey, what the bleep?
Yeah, these next this one, the doll man and the clock are like 5, 4, and 5 pages each. The Black Ace one was 9 pages, so
Yeah.
uh, hence why I started with Black Ace, because it was the longest of the stories. The Hood takes to the river road top speed. A short time later, he finds himself on the outskirts of the city. Hey, there they go. This time I won't get so near them, though. The gang car turns in at a driveway and stops before an old mansion.
Um, forget getting near them. Don't you think a bike driving itself just would be a little suspicious?
Well, if they're paying attention, I mean, we
It
have more
depends on how
times that
close
they
they're
look
looking on
back
the
and
road.
saw the bike, and I get what you're saying, a bike seeming going on its own. I mean, these guys would probably be freaking out. Oh my God, a Ghost Rider!
Yeah, and well, did he just drive aimlessly and happen to come upon them?
Again, probably one of those little details that the writers didn't really think too much about.
Yeah, I know. They didn't think to put in how he found them, but like I said, I enjoy the stories. In some ways, I enjoy finding these little plot points too.
Well, and this is one of the things I was explaining when we were talking about it. I think last Sunday
Yeah,
was they were probably only given a certain amount of pages.
yeah,
At the time, this is an anthology that they were writing for, so they were probably told, "Hey, look, this is how many pages you get. So try to make as compelling a story, compelling,
story
believable
as you
story
can. Yeah.
as."
Well,
And as I told
well,
you, this is only a 5-page story here. So
yeah. And the thing is, whenever you get up to closer to modern day, I'll still be trying to find these plot holes. Just naturally, it's just I
well, yeah, I
naturally
mean
see them.
it's natural. So
Yeah. Well, because I'm a little bit of a writer myself with my comics, so I try and make sure I don't have this sort of stuff.
uh,
I probably do, but
anyways, um, so I think that's you right there.
ugh, okay.
Where
Did
it
you
starts
read
feel.
the?
Yeah, I read the narration already.
Okay. Here we are, boys. I better tell the boss what happened.
Down the road, the invisible hood hides the motorcycle and walks the of the way rest of the way to the house. Hmm. This estate is the only one around. here for miles. I must be on the right track. Now again, quite a presumption there, isn't that?
Yeah, it's a presumption, but it's a fairly good one. But at least they tell you, this is only how it's around for miles.
Yeah.
And maybe he's seen them turn or whatever into, they don't tell you that obviously, but he must have seen them stop or whatever. Again, they don't tell you, but these are the minor details that they should probably tell you or whatever. But it is what it is.
Again, as I said, probably just something they just didn't feel was necessary for the story, especially given the page count they were probably kind of looking to. At a rear window, the hood looks into the library. Two men, and I've seen the picture of the young one in the newspaper. It's the missing Tom Bradley. While in the library, oh my head, where am I? Have I been asleep? And then you want to do the older guy there?
Sort of, Bradley. You have come out of a hypnotic spell I put you in at my office yesterday. My men have brought you here.
Clever trick, Dr. Grayson. So you're behind all these rackets, huh? Why? I could...
Tut tut, Bradley. Calm yourself. My men are at every door. Just relax. Yes, I'm behind these rackets, and they've made me rich. People know me as Dr. Grayson. But look at me closely, Bradley. Study my features. Don't you know me?
You look like the devil himself. No, wait. I know it's... Suddenly, Bradley leaps at Grayson. So you're disguised, eh? And we're probably about to find out who Dr. Grayson exactly is, I'm pretty sure.
He's Lex Luthor!
Ha! False hair, nose, mustache, and goatee. So it's you, Judge Hyde.
Yes, Judge Hyde, whom you forced to resign years ago. I swore I'd get my revenge for that, Bradley. Do you know what I'm going to do with you? I'm going to put...
Typical bad guy from this time period. Now I'm going to tell you my dastardly evil plan, right?
Well, typical bad guy even now. And again, he had him under a hypnotic trance, Then he takes it out of it just to say brag, which is going to end up getting him caught. And
or just go Nino, you're a wiener, Nino, you're a wiener.
Yeah, it's right? It's just the typical bad guys that they get so cocky.
Oh boy, I was just looking over at my TV to look at myself doing the little Nina thing. That's got to be a little bit funny for people to see.
Yeah. I'm going to put you in a hypnotic trance, then lead you to a cliff. There, I will command you to jump your death. Command you to.
I think to
your
jump
death
and
will
then
look like an accident or a suicide.
Meanwhile, the invisible hood silently enters the room. Put down that gun, Hyde.
What's that? Who said that? I thought I heard something. Must be my nerves.
I'm the invisible hood, Hyde. You can't see me, but I'm here to get you. Your one rat Parkville is going to get rid of. All right, Bradley, take his gun. As Bradley steps forward to disarm Hyde, the racketeer lunges at him.
No, you don't, Bradley.
Ow! The hood fires at Hyde, but the gangster dodges out of the room. He's heading for his plane. He had a landing field behind the house.
Okay, how does he know this?
Well,
He was
remember that
asleep when he
no.
came in, hypnotic.
Well, maybe Rick in the time that, because remember we saw there. Okay, so here's what could have been happening. So while we were focused on the exchange between Bradley and Grayson slash Hyde, maybe the Invisible Hood took a quick scout around the house. Maybe kind of circled the
No,
map.
but it's Bradley saying it, I think, to Red Hood.
What was that?
I think it's Bradley saying it to Red Hood where he's or Invisible Hood, where he's going. That bubble looks more like it's coming from Bradley than the Invisible Hood. Now, I could be wrong.
Oh, well, I was thinking because the way the tail looks, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because the Invisible Hood's obviously invisible, so
Yeah.
we don't see
Well,
what.
the Invisible Hood's just right over where the bang is, a little bit to the left of the bang. And why would what's his name? The Invisible Hood tell Bradley that?
Again, couldn't really tell you. Get back to Oh, look here. Look here. I think oh, you see this coloring error right here? Okay, look at the two panels there. And then look at the panel on the left there.
Yeah, they draw.
Notice anything? The two panels up top
Thanks,
there.
Hood. I'll have my men on the lookout for Hyde's plane. Good luck.
No, look,
Yeah,
look,
they drew
look,
in the
look
bad
at the
guy instead of
characters. Don't worry about the text right now.
Yeah, I know. I was just confirming that it's who I thought it was by reading it. But yeah, they have it. They drew the villain instead of Bradley.
Well, no, I think they drew the bill. I think they changed the color of Bradley's suit to red. It would seem.
Well, no, I say that because it depends on the hair, how you make out the hair. Yeah, it should be a blue suit because it should be Bradley. But the head even looks baldish, although I think I might be able to see hair there.
Well, there is some hair there.
But you can easily mistake that for just being shading or marks on a bald guy's head.
Yeah. Anyways, I need to put things are getting a little dim here, so
Put a
I
light
do
on it.
need to put some lights on. So just give me a sec here. Why don't you talk to people for a moment while I do that?
Yeah. So anybody still out there listening? What are you thinking of our conversation over different things in this? Do you guys think they drew in the villain by mistake or just badly colored Bradley? Obviously, somebody made a mistake, even if it was they drew Bradley. They've colored his coat the same coat as the villain, so and his tie. So somebody mistook Bradley for the villain, or the villain for Bradley. So what else? What else? What else? Um, Not sure whether you guys have checked out my latest video. I had Pixel Trader on Thursday, yesterday. And then of course I've put up a couple of videos. I did colored Vic King um, rendering of Canadian Shield, and of course put a link to that in the description, or not description, chat, into the chat if anybody wants to check it out after we're done here. And then I will also put a link to my latest remastering video. I should have another one out tomorrow or Monday, or maybe even Sunday. Depends on how I decide to do stuff. I'll shrink it down to where it's about just over 5 minutes. So here they are, both right in a row. One for my, as I call it, unofficial collaboration with Vic King.
All right, I'm back. I see you put up a couple links there.
Yeah, one is for a vid I did. Vic King a few days ago did a version, or I'm not sure how long ago, did a drawing of my Canadian Shield character, and he put it in a picture of it in some DMs. I grabbed it and I colored it, so I showed me doing that. Well, I re-inked it and then I colored it. He didn't like the fact that I re-inked it.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to the story here.
Yeah.
But I was just noticing how the suit looked different. I think it was Bradley. They just again as you point out, a mistake was made. What mistake that is, we can debate that.
Yeah. Well, just because it actually has, that is the bad guy's colors of the suit and all that. That's why I think they drew in the bad guy accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they might have drawn him, but it was clearly, you look at the discussion here, it was clearly Bradley, though.
Yeah.
Get back to police headquarters, Bradley. The whole city's looking for you. I'm going to take a long shot and see if I can get Hyde. Thanks, Hood. I'll have my men on the lookout for Hyde's plane. Good luck.
Yeah, you have your man on the lookout for Hyde's plane. By the time you get back to police headquarters, if the Hood doesn't stop him, he'll be long gone.
Well, Rick, you're Hyde, so
Okay. Well, baby, we're off. In a couple of hours, I'll be across the state line and heading for the border.
But suddenly, the invisible Hood comes speeding down the field on a motorcycle. Oh, but here we go. A little suspension of disbelief here. Ugh, I made it. Oh, well, actually, I think that was actually him. I think that's you.
No, it was the Invisible Hood.
Oh.
Because he's hanging off the airplane there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, kind of hard to tell. Inside the plane, Hyde does not hear the door open and then close.
Ha ha! That certainly was a quick thinking. Bradley will get his yet. Now, how do you not notice a door open on a plane when you're in the middle of the air? There's air pressure stuff that would happen.
Well,
especially a small plane like that.
Yeah, again, this is probably one of those things where it wasn't necessarily perceived as, it's like one of those things where they probably either didn't know or just didn't really care to put that. It's exciting because I mean, I've seen a number of cartoons where it seems like guys will just open doors in certain things that you would think would just air pressure would just, you know.
Yeah, but no. Well, it depends on what type of cartoons you're talking about. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
it just seems to me a little bit whacked. But
yeah.
like I said, it is what
Um,
it is.
Hands up, Hyde, and get away from those controls.
Is that a wise idea?
Oh, asking him to get away from the controls.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, maybe he's going. Maybe once he secures Hyde, maybe he'll take control of the plane. But I kind of
yeah,
get what
but
you're saying.
unless you put it on
In the
autopilot, or
town, he's getting it. The plane's gonna be.
yeah, unless you put it on autopilot first,
Yeah.
I would want. That's assuming that plane has autopilot.
Mhm.
Anyways, you. Why? How did you?
We're almost over the. We're almost over the business section of Parkville here. Take this parachute. You're going to jump. Bradley's men will be waiting for you with open arms.
I don't think so. Bradley has not gotten back to the police station yet, and they wouldn't know where that he would be jumping out of an airplane to get him.
Again, one of those details maybe they just didn't really think that that deeply about.
There's lots of things they didn't think through in this.
But again, in their defense, they probably only had a certain number of pages,
Yeah,
and they just felt like they had to just throw in whatever they felt
yeah,
was
they
most important.
rushed things. They did in rushing things. They didn't think things through.
Right, but that's probably what the big point of the writings were here. Anyways, you
Yeah,
got a line there.
yeah. Anyways, what?
You're getting a chance, Hyde, probably better than you deserve. Get Guess it would have been just as well for Parkville if that chute failed to open when he pulled the ring. So he's kind of advocating for the bad guy's death there.
Yeah, it's very sad comics this day and age.
Yeah, they have no qualms about killing people in these era. Well, we're on hour 48. We're still gonna try to get through the other two stories there.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll try not to poke out so many plot holes.
well, that's part of the fun, again, sometimes we just have to try to balance it out a little bit more because it's like, well,
Yeah,
again, granted, that was one aspect of the commentary that you were doing, but also I pointed out a few things too there that kind of
yeah,
are popping up. So here's featured comics 27. So do do do. Every time I read this, because of like how they have this set up, do 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 do. Do, 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 starring Joe Palooka, Mickey Finn, Jane Arden, The Clock, Ned Brandt, and featuring Dixie Dugan, do do do, Big Top, The Bungles, Toddy, Rance Keene, Captain Fortune, and Lollapalooza. Featured comics, December. Joe, but Joe, why did you join the Army, Navy, and Marines all in one day? What are the other things about these particular about because now a lot of these some of these are this is one of those comics where it's a mix of reprint and original stories right here,
yeah,
and you get like that's Joe Palooka right there,
yeah.
Mickey Finn, um,
Gene Arden, the clock, and
oh yeah, Lollapalooza, Toddy. I mean, some of the Bungles. some of them are just obviously funny. You've heard you may have heard at times like the phrases Lollapalooza, Mickey Finn, Joe
Yeah.
Palooza.
Well,
Uh,
obviously, this I don't think is a full book because it's saying only 28 pages up at the top.
oh yeah, but they do have the ones that
You want.
yeah, they do have I think the two stories. Yeah, I did read somewhere that this was not the completed book, but anyways, The Doll Man by William Irwin Maxwell. Now that was a pen name. I think it was Will Eisner who may have been actually doing the writing here. So anyways, all right. I guess. Well, I'll read some of the. I'll read some of the. Let's see. Actually, you want to do Professor Roberts right there?
Okay. How's your new experiment working out there, Darnell? Daryl?
I think hold on. I think you might want to do Professor Roberts' voice a little differently there.
Yeah. I was just trying not to do it the same as the one older guy with the mustache that I did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think in that
Yeah,
particular,
it's
I know you're
broken up.
trying to differentiate the voice and stuff, but
Yeah,
you made him sound more street level there, and there's another guy
yeah,
who you probably want to put some more of a distinguishment in his voice there.
yeah.
Try that line again.
How's your how is your new experiment working out, Daryl?
I'm nearing an objective. If only I could reduce my formula to a fluid.
Have you tried Aqua Regia?
Uh-oh, the telephone's ringing. No, never mind. I'll answer. No one seems to pay any attention to me anyhow.
They don't.
I wonder who it can be. And if it's Falco, I'll not pay him another cent. Hello? Oh, it's you again, Falco. I'll not pay you another cent, you blackmailer. No, no, don't do that. Wait, I'll pay. Meet me at 8. Meanwhile, in another room, Professor, that suggestion of yours sounds good. I'm going to try it. Excitedly, the men enter the laboratory, thrilled by the new discovery. Yeah,
How can it be a new discovery if you haven't tried it yet?
Guys, right?
Right?
They get so caught up in their toys and stuff like that, they'll ignore the girl.
Yeah. But my thing is, how can they be excited about their new discovery when they haven't done the experiment yet?
Well, just wait, because you're in for a few other little surprises here.
Yeah.
That will probably be getting your head scratching.
What do you hope to accomplish with your new fluid?
Um, I can't tell you yet. If I'm successful, I'll then reveal my secret now. Now to apply the acid. Look, it works. At last, Professor Roberts, this liquid will shrink a human being to the size of a doll.
Weren't you gonna not tell him yet? You just said you weren't gonna tell him.
Just the writing of that time, my friend. Maybe in his excitement, he forgot about that part.
Astounding. But how will it react to a human's mind?
I am going to find that out. I shall be the first to try it.
Don't, Darrow, don't drink that.
you see what he did right there?
Yeah.
Something that most scientists would tell you never to do, right?
Yeah, test your own experiment on yourself.
Right. In other words, don't be your own guinea pig, right?
Yeah.
And look, we see the pictures. We see him drinking it. We go ah, and there he goes shrinking. And look at that. You see what happened?
Yeah. It worked, Dad. You're no bigger than a doll. You've changed your eyes. They have a wild, evil look. You're mad, insane. Your mind shrank too. I told you so, you fool.
I think the way it was supposed to come out, I think you were supposed to do them in like a kind of a round way. I know you went
Yeah, I wasn't
top,
sure.
middle, bottom, but I think it was supposed to be more like kind of
Clockwise.
cycle. Yeah, some form of cycle, whether it be clockwise or counterclockwise. I don't, think that was the intended. Stop pounding on my brain. I can't stand it. I hate you. With amazing strength, the tiny figure hurls a hypodermic needle. Wow, chucking a hypodermic needle like you chuck a spear.
Yeah.
With my small body and great strength, I will be invincible. Ha ha!
Unless somebody steps on you.
Just then, Robert's daughter approaches the room. Father? Father? Suddenly, she sees a figure lying on the floor. Dad, speak to me. Martha, look, it's me, Daryl Dane, your fiance. Look at her face. Look
Yeah.
at her face, Rick.
Yeah. Well, Martha, I guess Batman would have a fit.
At that
Why
moment,
did you say that name?
at that moment, Roberts regains consciousness.
Oh, lucky that needle only grazed my arm. Didn't look like that.
Professor Roberts, are you all right?
Yes, it was nothing. But you, Daryl, how do you feel?
Strange. My brain is clearer, and I feel very powerful.
What wonderful things you can do. You've the strength of 20 men and the power to do good or evil. Which will it be, Daryl?
Good. I shall devote myself to a crusade against crime. And look at how he made that statement. That's kind of a very grandiose way of saying that.
Yeah.
Crime and evil. Later that night, time to meet Falco.
Going out, dear.
Oh wait. Yes, I'll be right back. It's the kind of the question mark for Daryl right there. Oh man. As Martha leaves a car draws up and she quickly steps in. As the car pulls away, a tiny figure leaps into the rear.
It is underwear.
Yeah. I thought there was something peculiar about her leaving. I think I'll follow. Well, you want to do you want to do Falco? That's Falco right there. You want to do
Okay.
him?
Well, Martha, how about the dough?
I'll pay you, you blackmailer.
Now, I wouldn't put it that way. It's just that I have a letter of yours that you don't want made public, and you're paying me to keep it quiet. There's no other. Oh no, that's yours.
Yeah. Is there no other way I can make you forget that letter?
Yeah. How about marrying me? I ain't such a bad guy. How about a kiss, baby?
Keep away from me, you beast! In an effort to escape Falco, the girl leaps from the car. The gangster brings the auto to a halt and follows. So basically, here, and granted, they didn't actually do anything here, but that kind of borders on that. He was wanting to give her a kiss against her will. That kind of borders on SA right there.
Yeah, well, I think he was wanting more than a kiss.
Yeah, but suddenly, a tiny figure, no larger than a doll, leaps at the thug, and with a powerful twist, sends him sprawling. With amazing power, the tiny figure brings blow after blow to Falco's jaw. Now imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine getting hit in the jaw by a 6-inch tall man.
Yeah, with the strength of 20 men.
Ouch! Right?
If he had this, hopefully he's not using all his strength with those things. If he's got the strength of 20 men, because that guy wouldn't have a face after the first hit.
Uh huh. Yep. Well, yeah, you would hope that he'd gain some control of it, and apparently they made apparently in another leap of logic there. That's exactly what they did. They not only gave him the strength, but they gave him the instant control of the strength.
Yeah.
Apparently. There's only one way to treat a rat like you.
Am I dreaming? Why, it's only a tiny. I'll crush him. Take this, you.
Now here's where you were talking about. Oh, unless he gets crushed. But the tiny man is too swift and eludes the big gangster. He bends a small twig, using it as a catapult. He dives repeatedly at the frantic Falco. Oh, and I think I've seen that in a number of Adam cartoons before.
Yeah. I could see doing it once, catapulting himself up, but how do you dive? Unless each hit that you hit him in the face,
Yeah.
you know.
Hand over those papers, Falco, or I'll.
Okay, here, you win. Jeez, I never saw a thing. Now let me alone.
Later. Daryl, you were wonderful, and I love you more than ever for what you've done. From now on, I shall be known as the Doll Man, and pledge myself to fight crime and evil relentlessly. The Doll Man appears each month in feature comics. Let's see if they. I believe they probably will. But I want to make sure. So I guess this time they didn't have. There we go. The clock strikes. A complete story by George. Now, even though they have it as Geo there, I think it's the short for George E. Brenner. Phantom gang escapes police again. Rob bank of 50,000. Getaway car vanishes in the air. Gang leaves no clues. Police puzzled. And Brian O'Brien, who secretly plays the role of the clock, finishes reading the story of the Phantom Gang. That gang's a new one on me, and they certainly made a nice haul. I wonder if the police have any leads on that crowd. Meanwhile, as the clock drives toward the police headquarters. So you want to do the announcer guy right there?
Calling car 2, watch for the Phantom Gang. They've robbed Hayden's jewelry store. Shoot to kill.
Look, okay, so I'll do the guy on the left, you do the guy on the right there. I'll do the guy in blue, you got to do the blue. Look, Terry, there they go.
Sure enough. And it's the same car they always use. After them. Slow down, they're turning the corner. I'm presuming it was the guy that I was supposed to be reading on the outside.
Gone.
Okay. And they couldn't have turned the next corner before we got here.
Back in headquarters, I'm telling you, Brian, this gang is making the department look foolish. Why, they even call up and tell us the exact neighborhood in which they're going to work next. Again, classic motif for this time period.
Yeah.
Classic motif for this time period. You know, the bad guy. In fact, I remember. This reminds me of one of the Justice League episodes where Flash, who was voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, even pointed that out too. How you got bad guys who are just dropping clues already, calling the police and warning you. Then why don't you fill the section with men? We tried that, and it's always the same old story. My men almost have them, and poof, they're gone. It's very, very queer.
And of course, queer at this point meant weird, strange.
Right. Not how it means today. Not part of the alphabet agenda.
Yeah, well, technically they are weird and strange, but
but in this case, weird and strange had a different connotation back in the 30s than it does now. So excuse me, Captain. Wait, actually, I think that's the dispatcher, so that's you.
Excuse me, Captain. Car 2 just reported in. They were on top of the Phantom Gang, and as usual, when they turned a corner, the gang was gone.
Okay, Ryan. Brian, I can hold my own against man or beast. But when it comes to fighting ghosts, I'm licked. Now, again, this is more of a... Rick, what do you think he means by licked here?
Licked. I know what he means. It's just explaining it into words. He's not up. He's going to be taken down.
Or defeated.
Like in a fight, defeated. Yeah. He'll be defeated or whatever. Not be able to take the bad guys down.
Don't worry, Captain. All crooks slip up someplace. And when they do, the rest is easy. Well, I'll leave you to your troubles. So they vanish in thin air. Huh? Well, no gang is capable of employing powers of the supernatural. Whatever it is they're doing, it's a good trick, and I'm going to find out what it is. I'll keep the radio tuned to pick up all police calls. The next day, the gang must be laying low for a while. Uh-oh. There's something now. You're the dispatcher.
Calling all cars, calling all cars. Go to the vicinity of Spruce and Pine Streets. Phantom Gang at work there.
Yeah, those are a couple nice names for streets, huh? Spruce and Pine?
Yeah, they're both trees.
Yeah. Spruce and Pine, huh?
Spruce and Pine. Hogan, hurry!
Bang, bang! Shots. The police must have seen them. And the Phantom Gang is now pursued by the police and the clock. Bang, bang!
They're turning the corner.
Gone.
Now, you really didn't expect to find them, did you, Duncan?
I think it's Dugan. It's pronounced Dugan.
Dugan.
It's an Irish name.
Yeah.
2 days later, the police and the clock meet up with the same results. That bunch must be a pack of magicians. And on the following day, the elusive gang carries out another successful robbery. Gone again, Tim. Say, I've got it. Why didn't I notice that before? Next day, the clock hears another police call.
Go to Reed and Sand Streets.
Ah, there they are. Okay. Did I miss something there?
Either not all the pages are here or it continues on the 2 pages.
Let's see.
Nope.
Yeah, because I think it did, and a lot, and I guess it's all the original stories there. Let's see, just 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, actually, according to my other source, there were actually supposed to be 5 pages of that. So they, for whatever reason, took one of the pages out.
Yeah,
so
maybe they didn't have it.
Yeah, something to that effect. But anyways, we're now past it. We're now at 2015. Granted, if I got started earlier, or we had now what I was initially going to do, but from the looks of it, looks like for that particular issue, for whatever reason, they took out mostly the reprint stuff. Even though a lot of that reprint stuff is, I think, technically public domain. So,
well, it could be for a couple reasons. Maybe they didn't have the pages for that or whatever.
Another possibility, yeah. But with that, so how did you like the selection tonight, Rick?
Good. Like I said, maybe I pick out these plot holes, but I still like the stories. Usually, they're usually pretty good. It's
yeah, I think I think a lot of the plot holes come from the fact that this is still early on. They were maybe only given a certain number of pages, and
Yeah,
therefore they had to just. It's one of those things where they had to figure out, okay, what's the most important parts of the story that we want to put into
yeah,
this, and so a lot of detail gets kind of thrown off to the side. So that's
yeah.
probably what it was. Yeah.
Either that or it's just inexperienced writers.
All right. So
Yeah,
and
and now there, like you said, it is a bit of a new medium for writers, but writers
at this
you
time,
would
yeah,
think could be able to write.
yeah. But all right. So anyway, so now that we've completed the reading portions of it, we'll start to wind down here. Rick, you'll of course be back here on Sunday to share your experiences with the other panelists and whoever else shows up
Yeah,
to watch, right?
yeah.
Um,
I can't see any reason why I wouldn't be here Sunday.
all right, so we're gonna start wrapping up here. So what we're gonna do first, of course, today being Friday, June the 2nd, 2023, we're gonna take a look back at this day in Meech history. So let me just review real quick.
History.
Yeah, 1933, and then 2018. Okay, so without any further ado, let's take a look back at this day, Meech history. History! So first off, I'm going to head back 90 years ago. And on this date, 90 years ago today.
That's a long time ago, Sonny.
Yes, it is, Sonny. On this date, 90 years ago today, the Fleischer Studios animated short Betty Boop's Big Boss, starring Betty Boop.
Betty Boobs? No.
Betty, you could argue that, yeah. Betty Boop, Big Boss, premiered in movie theaters on this date back in 1933, where an anthropomorphic pig puts an ad up for an employment. Girl wanted, top floor, female preferred. Kind of redundant. And then walks off with the latter strolling behind. So on this date, the Betty Boop cartoon, Betty Boop's Big Boss, premiered on this date 90 years ago today. So there we go with that one. Now moving on to the next piece of history, which is going to give us a little bit of a look into a few years from where we're at in our readings. And on this date in 1943, which is 80 years ago today, this date 80 years ago today, the 30th issue of Crack Comics went on sale from Quality. Sold for 10 cents for 64 pages. Of course, featuring Captain Triumph, the Clock, Black Condor, Alias the Spider. A number of those characters being brought into the fold by DC eventually. So on this date, 80 years ago today, the 30th issue of Crack Comics went on sale on that date.
So I guess we'll be reading this in a few years.
Well, yeah, maybe probably in a couple, yeah, depending on how fast we get through everything. Anyways, getting ready to move on to the next piece in each history is on this date 20 years ago today, back in 2003, was the passing of the legendary wrestling heel and manager Classy Freddie Blassie. Passed away on this date 20 years ago today at the age of 85. 2 weeks prior to this was his last appearance with the WWE, in which he was involved in the angle in which he told the Dudley Boys to get the tables on an episode of Raw. So on this date 20 years ago today, the WWE Hall of Famer Classy Freddie Blassie would pass away at the age of 85. And
He lived pretty long.
Yeah. I mean, he even before he became, he was probably most well known for his managerial career. Probably, he was known as one of the three heel managers in the WWE that they would call the three wise men of the East, which included Captain Lou Albano and the wizard Ernie Roth.
Yeah.
They were a triad of heel managers that would operate in the WWF/WWF in the 70s and into the early 80s up until, basically what ended up happening in, I think it was 82 or 83, Ernie Roth, aka the Wizard, the Grand Wizard, would pass on. Then then Captain Lou would eventually become a face manager, after his involvement with the rock and wrestling angle that the WWE introduced. And then of course Blassie would continue managing up until like by 86 he was already starting to step back and starting to slowly retire. Some of the guys he would have, including Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, would come under the management of Slick. Blassie would supposedly sell their contracts to Slick. So anyways, and finally, the final piece of niche history we have for you is from 5 years ago, on this date in 2018, the first of two Peacemaker Kurogane movies would premiere. They were produced by White Fox, part one being Belief. So Peacemaker Kurogane Belief premiered in Japanese theaters on this date 5 years ago, on June 2nd, 2018. So there we go with that one. Anyways, I thank everybody for being here. Rick, if you can just stick around for a quick moment for post game. I thank everybody for being here tonight. I thank everybody for all the likes and shares. I hope everybody enjoyed the stories tonight. A little bit different. I mean, we really only had a couple of superheroes with Doll Man and Invisible Hood. But we also had a spy story, and let's see. You had two mass vigilantes, and Invisible Hood and Clock. You had kind of two superheroes in Invisible Hood and Doll Man, and then you had a spy in Black Ace there. So kind of a nice. Would you say it was kind of an interesting little mix there?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thank everybody for being here tonight, and I hope to see everybody back here on Sunday. So, bye.
Bye.